Okay, let's dive into this. It's pretty wild how the news from just a single day can paint such a complex and, yeah, sometimes contradictory picture of a whole nation. Today, we're going to look at Canada through the lens of one of those days.
So on one hand, you've got this really tough economic news. But on the other, you have a moment of pure, unadulterated national pride that just brought the entire country together. So how can both of these things be true at the exact same time? What does this tell us about Canada right now?
To really understand the full picture, we have to start with the challenges. And right now, the biggest story on that front is the economic pressure that's building up all across the country.
The headline number from Statistics Canada? Yipes. It's a real gut punch. A loss of over 40,800 jobs in just 1 month. Now that's a big enough drop to push the whole national employment rate to an 8-month low. It's a clear signal that the economy's, well, it's cooling down.
But if you dig a little deeper into that report, one number is really, really concerning. The unemployment rate for Canadians aged 15 to 24, it just skyrocketed to 14.6%. Now, if you take the pandemic years out of the equation, that is the highest it's been in over a decade.
And here's where it gets really stark. The youth unemployment rate is now more than double the national average. This isn't just a stat on a page, you know? It means young people are feeling this economic squeeze far more intensely than pretty much anyone else right now.
And this economic anxiety is not just about finding a job in the first place. It's also about job security. To add to the friction, Air Canada's flight attendants are now planning a nationwide action because their contract talks have stalled. It's another sign of tension simmering away in a really key part of the economy.
But okay, the pressures aren't purely about money. There's a pretty heated social debate playing out too, and it's centered on the Canadian tour of an American activist, Feucht. His movement, which is often described as Christian nationalism, has become a real flashpoint, pitting core values of free expression against serious concerns for public safety and the potential for hate speech.
The reaction has been fast, and it's been widespread. I mean, from Halifax all the way to Quebec City, local governments are pulling permits, and they're citing concerns that these events could strain public resources and, promote intolerance. It just goes to show this isn't some localized issue, it's a national conversation about the boundaries of free speech.
Okay, so that's the pressure cooker side of things, but that is only half the story. While all these challenges are brewing at home, the government is making some really decisive moves to project strength and stability on a totally different stage.
One answer is right here. A huge investment in a core national institution, the military. In the middle of all this economic uncertainty, the government announced major pay raises for the Canadian Armed Forces. And you can see the real strategy when you look at the numbers. A 20% pay boost for starting privates. That is a direct attempt to fix the military's big recruitment and retention problems.
And it's not just at home. Beyond its own borders, Canada is also making some pretty assertive moves on the world stage, almost acting as a counterweight to some of those domestic pressures we were just talking about.
Take a look at this diplomatic push in Mexico. With trade tensions with the U.S. kind of bubbling up, Canada is actively working to strengthen its relationship with its other North American ally. The goals are totally strategic. Deepen those energy ties and use Canada's super powerful pension funds to boost investment. Basically, create a buffer against any trade instability.
In global security, Canada is also taking firm economic action. Alongside its allies, the government is slashing the price cap on Russian crude oil by over 20%. This is a direct financial blow, and the goal is to limit Russia's ability to fund its war in Ukraine. Simple as that.
So we have pressure, and we have power. But sometimes what a country really, really needs is a moment of pure inspiration. And that is exactly what happened on a tennis court in Montreal, in what news outlets were calling a dream run and a fairy tale victory. This is the story of 18-year-old Victoria Mboko, and her path to this win was just incredible. She walks into the National Bank Open ranked 85th in the world, a relative unknown. On her way to the title, she beats former world number 1 Naomi Osaka, and with that win, she rockets up the rankings to number 24. An absolutely stunning achievement.
So just how historic was this win? Let me put it this way. Victoria Mboko became only the third Canadian woman in the entire Open era to win her home tournament. She is now on an incredibly elite list with Bianca Andreescu and Faye Urban, and she created a moment of pure, unifying national pride.
So let's bring it all together. What we've seen from just one day's news is this really intricate dance between three forces. You've got the internal pressures of a struggling economy and social division, the external projections of government power and strategy, and then those rare, powerful moments of collective pride.
Which leaves us with a final question to chew on. Is this combination of turmoil and triumph a sign that the nation is being pulled in opposite directions? Or is this simply what resilience looks like in the 21st century? The messy, complicated, and ultimately human reality of a nation just trying to find its way forward?